සිතැඟි ලෙස සිරී දළදා පහස සැදැහැති ජනයා පූජා කරන ලෙස සුරපුර සිරිය පරයන රම්‍ය විමාන බැතියෙන් බලව දළදා හිමි වැඩ සිටින
ඔබ සැමට උතුම් දළදා හිමි සරණයි. ඓතිහාසික සෙංකඩගල පුරවරය දෙව්පුරයක්සේ බැබලෙන අසිරිමත් මහා කලා මංගල්‍යයක පින්බර ආරම්භක දිනය අදයි. වාමශ්‍රී දංෂ්ඨා ධාතුන් වහන්සේ උදෙසා ශ්‍රී දළදා මාලිගාව වාර්ෂිකව සංවිධානය කරන ඇසළ මහා පෙරහර මංගල්‍යයේ 2026 වර්ෂයේ මහා පෙරහර මංගල්‍යයේ ප්‍රථම කුඹල් පෙරහර වීථි සංචාරය කරන දිනය අදයි. 1716 වෙනි මහා පෙරහර මංගල්‍යයටයි 2026 වර්ෂයේදී ඔබ අප සියලු දෙනාම මේ එක්වන්නට සූදානම් වන්නේ. ජීවමාන බුදුන් වහන්සේ වෙනුවෙන් සිදු කරන මහා සංස්කෘතික කලා මංගල්‍යයක අසිරිය දහස් සංඛ්‍යාත පිරිසක් ලක්ෂ සංඛ්‍යාත පිරිසක් මේ සෙංකඩගල පුරවරයට පැමිණිලා අද උදෑසන ඉඳලම එක්රැස් වී පෙරහර ගමන් ගන්නා වීථිවල මග දෙපස එක්රැස් වී බලා සිටින්නේ මේ අසිරිමත් කලා මංගල්‍යය දැක බලා ගන්නටයි. ශ්‍රී දළදා මාධ්‍ය විශේෂ ව්‍යාපෘති හා සංවර්ධන කාර්යාංශ අපේ මාධ්‍ය කණ්ඩායම අද දවසේ සිට පුරා දින 11ක් මේ අසිරිමත් මහා කලා මංගල්‍යය සිංහල දෙමළ ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂා ත්‍රිත්වයෙන්ම අපේ ලෝකේ පුරා සිටින සියලු ප්‍රේක්ෂක ජනතාව වෙත රැගෙන එන්නට සූදානමින් සිටිනවා. දළදා වහන්සේ උදෙසා සිදු කරන මේ මහා පෙරහර මංගල්‍යය පිළිබඳව ලෝකේ පුරා වෙසෙන මේ සියලු ජනතාව දැනුම්වත් කරලීම උදෙසා අපි වාර්ෂිකව මේ මහා සත්කාරය සිදු කරන්නෙත් එය ජාතියේ යුගයේ අවශ්‍යතාවක් ලෙස සැලකමින්. ඒ නිසාම අද පෙරහර නරඹන්නට පැමිණ සිටින මේ සියලු දෙනා වෙනුවෙන් වගේම නිවසේ සිට අපිව නරඹන ඔබ සියලු දෙනා වෙනුවෙනොත් මේ මහා සංස්කෘතික මංගල්‍යයේ හර පද්ධතීන් වඩාත් ගැඹුරින් වඩාත් ක්‍රමවත් ලෙසින් වඩාත් නිවැරදිව ඔබට රැගෙන එන්නට අපි සූදානමින් සිටිනවා භාෂා ත්‍රිත්වයෙන්ම. විශේෂයෙන්ම අපේ පෞරාණික උරුමය දළදා හාමුදුරුවෝ වෙනුවෙන් සිදු කරන මහා පූජෝපහාරයක් කොට ගනිමින් අපි මේ මහා සත්කාරය සිදු කරන්නේ. දළදා මාලිගාව මේ සිදු කරන මහා කලා මංගල්‍යය ඔබට අද සිට පුරා දින 10ක් මේ සජීව විස්තර ප්‍රචාරය රැගෙන එන්නට සූදානමින් සිටිනවා. එමනම් මා ඔබ සියලු දෙනාටම දළදා හාමුදුරුවන්ගේ පිහිට ආශිර්වාදය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමින් අපත් සමග රැඳී සිටින්නට ආරාධනා කරනවා. கோஷிகன்
நன்றி சமன். கண்டி அசல பிரகராவினுடைய முதல் நாள் கும்பல் பிரகரா வீதி பலம் வந்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றது. கண்டி மாநகரை சூழ்ந்துள்ள அனைவரையும் வருக வருக என வரவேற்பதுடன் இக்காட்சிகளை நேரடியாக காண முடியாதவர்கள் டயலாக் தொலைக்காட்சி 20 POTV 20310 ஃப்ரீசெட் 2 மற்றும் ஸ்ரீ தலதா மாளிகையினுடைய யூடியூப் ஃபேஸ்புக் பக்கங்களினூடாக நேரலையாக கண்டுகளிக்க முடியும். புத்த பெருமானுடைய அருள் அனைவருக்கும் கிடைக்க வேண்டி பிரார்த்தித்துக் கொள்வதுடன் தொடர்ச்சியாக எம்முடன் இணைந்திருங்கள். பத்மி.
Thank you, Goshi. Today, we gather to witness one of Sri Lanka's most magnificent cultural and religious tradition, the Esala Perahera of Sri Dalada Maligawa. For centuries, the Esala Perahera has been held to honor the sacred tooth relic of the Lord Buddha. Today, the first Kumbal Perahera will be happening at the auspicious hour of 6:52 toward the auspicious direction of feast. The majestic tusker, the Indiraja, will carry the relic casket accompanied by the noble tuskers Kote Raja and Mian Raja. Stay tuned on channel 20 POTV, channel 20 on Dialogue Television, channel 2 on FreeCert. Stay tuned with us. May the blessing of Esala Perahera be with you all.
Dalada Samidu Pihitai. We are delighted to welcome you to the special live broadcast of the first Kumbal Perahera of the Kandy Esala Perahera 2026, brought to you by the Media and Special Projects Bureau of the Sri Dalada Maligawa Kandy.
You are now seeing the Perahera officials obtaining the permission and blessing of the Diyavarna Nilame, the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic, before commencing their street perambulations.
This is the handing over of keys by the Diyavarna Nilame to the officiating bhikkhus. Now the Diyavarna Nilame will be making his way from the upper level, the Ihalamalaya, to the lower level of the chamber, known as the Pathamalaya of the Vadasitina Maligawa, and is seen ceremoniously and reverentially carrying the Perahera casket under the protection of the custodian venerating plate of the Askiriya Mahaviharaya, Most Venerable Vendaruwe Upali Anunayaka Thero. Amidst the offering of lights, sounds, scents, and flowers, all the way from the upper chamber until it is placed on the awaiting tusker.
We are now seeing the Perahera casket, which contains 32 relics of Lord Buddha, being placed within Ranhilige, that is mounted on the lavishly costumed tusker, who will uplift the majesty of this great procession.
These officials are seen offering flowers and floral gardens to the Perahera casket, and this is the first night procession of the Kandy Esala Perahera 2026, the grand festival of respect that pays homage to the sacred tooth relic to honor Lord Buddha. We will now be seeing the devout moment when the royal tusker will step majestically down from the Mahavaharkada, the main entrance, onto the Sandagala, the moonstone, amidst the tune of traditional Nagasingha music, in preparation to parade the streets of the Kandian city. And this evening, the royal tusker will be Indiraja of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. On this year 2026, we are witnessing the grace of the 1716th Perahera that had begun during the reign of King Kirtishri Meghavarna, who pledged that the relics must be carried around the city once a year, and this tradition still continues, followed by the succession of many ruling kings, prime ministers, and presidents of our country.
An ancient poem translated from the book Sangarajavata recites the story of the Kandy Esala Perahera as follows. The kingdom of Senkadagala, the procession of the month Esala, held from times ago in favor of the god above, led by the grace of Lord Buddha, followed by the deities, the Perahera shall perambulate just as the king did commemorate.
This evening, the first Kumbal Perahera commenced at the auspicious hour of 6:52 p.m., heading in the auspicious direction of north, and shall parade down the Dalada Vidya, D.S. Senanayaka Vidya, Temple Street, Deva Vidya, Colombo Vidya, Yatinuwara Vidya, and ascend, concluding the Raja Vidya.
Walking up front with the sound of thundering whips piercing through the skies are the whip crackers announcing that the procession has commenced, and these whip masters are tasked with clearing the way for Sacred Tooth Casket and the king.
This evening's whip masters are being led by Mr. Upali Jayaratna. The Perahera is believed to be held in prayer for timely rainfall, and the elements of the Perahera is structured in a symbolical way that it paints the imagery of a rainfall. Rain would never be showered without the striking sound of thunder, and these whip wielders are the symbolic imagery to depict the sound of lightning and thunder to pay homage to the rain gods, requesting to bless our crops and cultivations with rain.
The whipmaster's duty handed down from generation to generation of their clans, and only those who are mastered of the art of whip cracking will be taken to participate the Kandy Esala Perahera. According to the tradition, a Perahera which does not have this pedigree are not even being called such.
In single file, we see these whip masters carefully manipulating their whip that is nearly 7 feet in length and is made fully out of natural elements known as Niyaga and Navapatta, which indicates how traditions have been preserved and the authentic methods have not changed throughout the parading history of 1716 years.
It can be noticed how these whip masters are untying the knots that are formed with the whipping, and that is symbolic to the various problems that are faced in this journey of life, where we too spending a careful expense of mind in untying our problems down our own walk down the journey of life.
Many onlookers who are seated around the city of Kandy to witness this Perahera can be seen throwing thousands of coins to the streets in the belief that this practice will ward off any evil from their loved ones and for blessings from the sacred tooth relic.
This is a beautiful tradition that highlights the basis for giving, offering, and sharing among the people of our land. Sri Lankans are among the top of the world's giving index, that is indeed an outcome from the social influence of Lord Buddha's teaching.
Regardless of how rich or poor they are, they offer their coins in great devotion and joy to the Perahera, as their minds are conditioned to giving. The most revealing narration of the Kandy Esala Perahera is found in the book written by the Chinese pilgrim Fa Hian in the 5th century.
The sporadic invasion by the Dravidians resulted in shift of the kingdom from Anuradhapura to several destinations: Polonnaruwa, Dambadeniya, Yapahuwa, Kurunagala, Kotte and Gampala. With the final shift from the kingdom to this great city of Kandy, the relics have remained undisturbed.
And thereby the Kandy Esala Perahera has been held to annually rejoice and honor the sacred tooth relic. We are now seeing the fireball acrobats led by Mr. E.D. Tilakaratna.
Rain does not come with thunder alone. Just as lightning flashes across the skies, the procession too has its flashes of light dancing across the faces of people lining the street to watch. These are the fire dancers who are offering fire, inviting the rain god to water our lands with the rain.
Even though it seems very paradox to learn that we offer fire to seek for water, this phenomenon of nature is magnificently depicted by this group of fireball dancers who perform this thrilling stunt of acrobats while illustrating how lightning comes with the rain. The cooling breeze that flows from the surroundings, from the Udavatta forest on the right and from the Kandy lake on the left, certainly creates the feel of how nature too contributes to the Perahera by displaying its unmatched, unique forms of beauty to this Perahera that shall bless our country.
The turning off fireball called Pandampaliya, which paints the night with varied patterns of light using both hands and feet, along with thrilling episodes of fire stunts. Back in history, Kandy and performing arts have been classified into 5 variants, which were known as Wahala Ilangama, Singakkari Ilangama, Tambarapittukari Ilangama, Natum Ilangama, and Kavikara Maduwa.
Interestingly, it was the king's order that all 5 of these classifications must be performed in the Perahera, which is a royal order that is still being obeyed since the ancient times till the modern days.
The classification of Wahala Ilangama that was mentioned before comprise of acts that create a sense of thrilling among the spectators, and the fireball dance we see in front of us is one of such example of performing art that belongs to the Wahala Ilangama.
Now we see the flag bearers represented by the inmates of the Pallekele open prison camp.
The sight of these Buddhist flags create a sense of tranquility among the spectators, reminding us the fact that this procession is in celebration, devotion, and an offering to the great Lord Buddha.
A priority of the Kandy Esala Perahera is to reflect the unity of Sri Lanka as a nation, which in here is symbolized by the national flag that was leading this army of flags.
The Buddhist flag is a symbol of faith and peace. The 6 colors of the flag represent the colors of aura that emanated from the body of the Lord Buddha when he attained enlightenment under the sacred Bodhi tree. The horizontal strips represent the races of the world living in harmony, while the vertical strips represent the eternal world peace.
The white flag bearers remind the people of the way that the Dhamma impacted their lives, and from the day the sacred tooth relic was brought to the island, and also how the calm atmosphere symbolically portrays the way to end this cycle of life, or samsara. And now we are seeing the sword bearers, represented by the Angampura team of the Sri Lanka Air Force.
Walking in great discipline, in their calm and disciplined nature, are the army of sword bearers who provide protection to the Perahera casket.
Leading the way with the first official of the Kandy Esala Perahera is the elephant Banda, belonging to the Honourable Diyavadana Nilame of the Sri Dalada Maligawa in Kandy.
It is the norm of the Perahera that the Peramunerala, or the front runner of the procession, is the first person on elephant back, and neither officials nor elephants are permitted to parade before the Peramunerala.
Clad in the white traditional costume that comprises of the white jacket and the triangular hat, the Peramunerala comes into view carrying the secretarial scroll known as the Lanka meteor, which is encased in this long cylindrical silver casket. We are now seeing the first Hevisi troupe that is represented by the official Hevisi ensemble of the Sri Dalada Maligawa.
They perform in dignified presence of the front of the procession as a tradition which they practice with a majestic skill. In fact, no Panchatura Vadana or traditional orchestra of Sinhalese music that produce sounds using either drums or other musical instrument is permitted before the Hevisi, as per the rule of the Kandy Esala Perahera tradition. Sri Lanka is rich with its own genre of traditional music and Hevisi, which is dignified as the authentic sound of Sri Lanka. The history of Hevisi takes back to the time when the scaling of Sri Jayasri Mahabodhi tree was brought down to Sri Lanka by Sangamitterani, and this evidence marked the fact of Hevisi is the oldest traditional orchestra and Buddhist sound offering in Sri Lankan heritage.
Hevisi is the most prominent orchestra of the five-fold musical instruments, which has its own variants to various parts of the country, known as upcountry, low country and suburban. The speciality of the Kandy Esala Perahera is the pure domination of upcountry traditional arts. Wherefore, this particular Hevisi instrumental performance belongs to the upcountry tradition of Hevisi, which is known as Udarata Hevisi in Sinhalese.
Five-fold musical instruments, as recognized by Sri Lankan music culture, as Panchaturyanada is noted as Athatha, instruments played by both hands, Vitatha, instruments played using sticks, Vitatathatha, instruments played using hand and stick, Gana, instruments that are dashed with each others, and Sushira, instruments that are blown. This arrangement of the upcountry ensemble of Hevisi consists of 4 out of 5 mentioned tunes except the Gataberea that represent the Athatha tune.
Musicianship of Hevisi, the Kandy Esala Perahera, and for the daily rituals of the Sri Dalada Maligawa are assigned to the most skilled lineages of Hevisi clans, who are Uduela, Ihalavela, Malagamana and Mobitel. And now we see the arrival of the Gajanayaka Nilame, the royal official who acts as the incumbent responsible for the operations of the stable of elephants of the Sri Dalada Maligawa. And this evening, the Gajanayaka Nilame is on the mount of the Tusker Burumaraja belonging to the Sri Dalada Maligawa in Kandy.
According to the Perahera tradition, the Gajanayaka Nilame obtaining the Ankusaya from the Devatna Nilame after bowing down in respect and obtaining his blessings.
This is the Bulat Pade dance performance, represented by Mr. Nalin Jaisekara of the Sri Dalada Maligawa School of Dance.
Bulat Pade is one of the most serene dance performances of the upcountry dance tradition, which provides a welcoming gesture to the audience. The dancers carried a heap of betel leaves on a white cloth with both their hand and dancers in style and disciplining using footwork to the tune of the Catabella.
The Bulat Pade is in fact a ritualistic dance that is performed in healing rituals or Shanti Karma across upcountry, low country and Sabaragamu traditions. And here we are seeing the upcountry version of the Bulat Pade, which originates from the Kumbal Perahera healing ritual as one of the 4 Hat Pade or 7 dance episodes that comprise of the Bulat Pade, Kotala Pade, Mal Pade, Salu Pade, Pol Pade, Yahan Mutti Pade and Anguru Dongala Pade.
The motives of the Bulat Pade dance is to welcome the god to ritualistic arena known as Maligawa.
It is the custom that the official on the third elephant of the Sri Dalada Perahera will be carrying a Buddhist flag to symbolize the fact that this procession is a true Buddhist festival. This evening, the third elephant of the Dalada Perahera will be Raja, belonging to the Honorable Devarnilame of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, Honorable Pradeep Lanka. This is the Thumb at Thumb ensemble, represented by Mr. Sujit Ananda of Ridhigama.
The Thammattama, also known as Pokuruberaya in Sinhalese, and the kettle drum in English, is a vital instrument of Hevisi ensemble that takes a predominant position in the Perahera as the main sound offering towards the impending requeries of worship.
However, this act celebrates the Thammattama as an individual performance, excluding any other musical instrument that we saw in the Hevisi troupe.
The amazing feature about this Thammattam performance is that we see both playing and dancing with the Thammattama, which is evidentially why it is recognized as Thammattama or Thammattam dance. This is truly the fascinating beauty of Sri Lankan performing arts, where our artists are gifted with talents making more than what is expected of what we are blessed with.
The beauty of a Perahera is truly magnified with the presence of these royal tuskers. And this tusker is Janaraja, belonging to the Sri Dalada Maligawa stable of elephants. A baby tusker who was once gifted to the Sri Dalada Maligawa by the late former president of Sri Lanka, Mr. J.R. Jayawardena, in the year 1985. Following Janaraja, we are now seeing the Chamara dance performance that is represented by the Chandananda Buddhist College of Kandy.
The ancient poetic anthology that was written during Kingdom of Kotte, that is famously known as Salalihini Sandesha chords, that white tassels in motion along with majestic elephants are one of the supreme side of auspicious visualities, and The Chamara dance is certainly an inclusion to add more auspicious value to this Perahera.
Chamara is a popular upcountry folk dance that is one of the most visually mesmerizing dance acts of the Perahera this evening.
The chamara is a white tussle object that was used historically as fanning tool to the sacred tooth relic, sacred requeries, and the prominent individuals, including the royalties.
The tussles are fanned to the rhythm of the flute and the Kandian drums, where the gentle, cool breeze that is produced by these chamara bring a very pleasant feeling. This was in fact a regular feature of the royal courts in our ancient history.
The chamara dancers swing these white tassels in various stanzas that not just creates the soothing visual to the audience.
The future of the Kandy Esala Perahera depends on the existence of these performers and the majestic troupe of tuskers in the country. Just like these tuskers seen in front of us, the Tusker Raju, belonging to the most venerable Mahanayaka Thero of the Askiriya chapter, Venerable Warakagoda Sri Jnanaratana Thero, walking alongside with the Tusker Sindhu, belonging to the most venerable Mahanayaka Thero of the Malvatu chapter, most venerable Tibbatuave Sri Siddhartha Sumangala Thero. Both of these tuskers were gifted from the Pinnavala Elephant Orphanage to the Malvatu and Askiri Mahaviharas in the year 2009 by the former President of Sri Lanka, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa. This is the Nayandi dance troupe, represented by Mr. Vasantha Rajangana and Mr. Vasantha Gunathilaka.
Dance is one of the most significant dance performances of the upcountry tradition that hold a very prominent position in the Kandy Esala Perahera, especially during the Kumbal Perahera festivals. The word Nayandi is in fact the name of the costume that is worn by the Nayandi dancers, which is the same costume that is worn by the Kandian West dancer, with the exclusion of the devoted headdress that is replaced with a cloth of turban with a knot on the head in the center that is taken the shape of the cobra.
The brass umbrella that is carried by the officials of these elephants is to imply protection and shelter to the impending sacred relic casket. And this elephant walking with pride is Sandev Raja, belonging to the native physician and the official in charge of the Sri Dalada Maligawa stable of elephants, Mr. Pradeep Neenapallara of Mobitel. The mixed folk dance that we are seeing now is represented by Mr. P.C.B. Jesuru.
Traditional dancing in Sri Lanka is segregated into two main types, which are the Shastriya Natum or dance performances that are based on healing rituals, and the other being Gaminatum or folk dance performances. The dance that we are now seeing is a remarkable fusion of not just one but 4 different folk dance performances being danced simultaneously in the same spotlight.
Here we see the dance artists presenting 4 different folk dances, which are the Talampeta, Nikili, Rabban and the Savara, which we would see being performed as individual dance items across the 5 segments of this majestic Perahera. And this dance act is certainly a snapshot of the beauty of the Sri Lankan folk culture.
dancing is also known as Jananatum or Gaminatum, which are the dance items that represent the culture of the native village lifestyle of Sri Lanka. These dances, acts, have no ritualistic regulations that need to be strictly adhered to be comparison to the Shastriya dance in fact.
Truly majestic view of two majestic elephants taking part in this evening's first Kumbal Perahera is just ahead of our sight. We see the elephant Vijitaraja belonging to Venerable Dibulagala Rahula Lankara Theru, the chief incumbent of the Dibulagala Arani Senasane in Polornaru, walking together with the elephant Kandulavira belonging to Venerable Kanangama Narada Theru, the chief incumbent of the Sankapitti Purana Rajamahavihara of Kaduela. This is the Pantheru dance performance that is represented by Mr. Palitha Hapugoda.
The Pantheru is a musical instrument that is used as a rhythm tool across all three traditions of upcountry, low country and Sabaragama. But the Pantheru dance is exclusively belonging to the Udarata or upcountry tradition of dance. This instrument is a small brass circular framed castant with 5 cymbals fixed to it, which gives a startled metallic sound as it shakes. It was originally used to keep up the beat in the chambers of versifiers or Kavikara Madura, and it is considered as one of the authentic tunes that are encaged with the sound of offerings, associations with the Dalada Puja.
The impressive sight of 3 majestic tuskers. In the middle is the tusker Vasana belonging to the Ruhunu Mahakatrugala Devalaya, who is accompanied by his 2 colleagues of the Sri Dalada Maligawa stables, Singharaja and Pulatisiraja. we are just about to witness the most anticipated moment of the first Kumbal Perahera, the arrival of the tusker who shall be carrying the Perahera Relic casket of this year's first procession of the Kandy Esala Perahera 2026. We are seeing the Nikini moon, which is just about to be illuminated as the Nikini full moon in just another 9 days, where the grand Randoli Perahera shall be perambulating. This is the royal citadel of Kandy, which annually hosts the Kandy Esala Perahera, the cultural adventure that attracts tourists from localities and foreign countries who come to Kandy to witness this great procession of Sri Lankan majesty. We are now seeing the arrival of the first troupe of West dancers, this evening represented by Mr. Ishanta Ihalavela and Mr. Lasantha Vansekara, where these West dancers are tasked with escorting the way for the arrival of the royal tusker who shall be carrying the Perahera Relic casket.
The most unique and the most recognized presentation of the Kandian dance heritage is the most fully adorned West Natua or the Kandian West dancer. The Kandian dancers' skill and dance form have been considered as an authentic expression of Sri Lankan culture. In fact, it is this icon of the West dancer who is branded identifier of traditional Sri Lankan dancing across the 7 seas, despite the presence of many artistic dance performances that are authentic to traditional Sri Lankan dance. The West dance is more than just a ritual. It is a sacred recitation for the protection against misfortune. Therefore, the costume of these dancers are also considered as sacred.
This most glamorous costume symbolically represents the regalia of King Maligawa, the royalty who performed this ancient ritual of Hatapas Pangal, which is a healing ceremony that was held 2,500 years ago.
It was in the 4th century BC when the first ever Hattepas Mangalya was performed in Sri Lanka by the Malaya king to cure Deridos or godly curse that had been bestowed upon the King Padwasdeva, who is in fact the decent king in Vijaya, the Indian prince who discovered the land of the king as the Thambapani. Dressed in white Tukkotiya costume, this is the Karya Karavana Korala, who is the royal official that holds responsibility for all engagements in regarding to the offering, the Perahera and the Relic casket. He is only seconded to the Diyavarna Nilame and is the only person in the Perahera who has the permission to walk forward and backward during the Perahera.
The very special orchestra that leads the Relic casket are the Nagasingha instrumentalists, which is an Indian-influenced ensemble of music that plays in authentic music to escort the Relic casket as part of the traditions that were conducted in Lord Buddha's origin country, India too, which was added to the Perahera from the time of King Veeraparakrama Narendra Singh. We are now seeing at the much awaited and the most devout moment as the Perahera, the royal tusker, ceremoniously carrying the Relic casket, guarded by the Dalada elephants, sprinkled by jasmine flowers, and officiated by royalties escorted by the majestic West dancers. This evening, the Relic casket is carried by the lead tusker Indiraja of the Sri Dalada Maligawa stable of elephants. Indiraja is escorted by the Tusker Miyan Raja of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, alongside with the Tusker Kotte Raja belonging to Venerable Alutnura Anuruddha Nayaka Thero, the chief incumbent of the Kotte Rajamahaviharya.
This is the chambers of versifiers of the Kavikara Madura, the group of poets who walk behind the Relic casket while singing the virtues of Lord Buddha. These versifiers are holding several instruments including the Pantheruva and the Udakkiya, and the speciality of the Kavikara Madura is that these versifiers shall only perform when the Relic casket is taken out of the Relic chamber, shall sing till it's reverentially placed back after the Perahera. This too is an in fact offering of King Veeraparakrama Narendra Singha to the sacred tooth relic.
We are now seeing the second troop of West dancers of the first Kumbal Perahera, who are tasked with escorting the way for the Diyavadana Nilame, who shall be taking part as per the customs of the first Kumbal Perahera. These troupe of West dancers are represented by Mr. Sanjeeva Verapitiya and Mr. Peter Surasena.
West dancing was considered as a part of the royalty itself, where it was formally associated with the king since the ancient times. When going down history, the West dance was performed in the time of Anuradhapura kingdom, and this had begun rebranded as the Kandian dance only after the royalty had shifted to the kingdom of the Kandy. The costume that is worn by the West dancers are very unique, as it is believed to be the half of the exact same costume that was the regalia of King Malaya. The colors of the white and red take prominence as the only shade present in the West costume, that is, the difference to the multicolored costume that we were seeing in our low country traditional dance.
It is interesting to hear that this costume consists of 64 pieces of accessories, including the Paimpatha, Nethimalaya, Todupat, Karapatiya, Aulheraya, Deuramalaya, Bubulupatiya, Silambu, Uludaya, and Bandivalalu, and Hangala, to name a few.
The steps of West dance are highly masculine, which is known as Thandava in technical language. The dance is choreographed in very heavy steps that could be performed only by the strongest of the men, and undoubtedly a dance performance.
We are now seeing the Honorable Diyavadra Nilame of the Sri Dalada Maligawa in Kandy, who is the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha that rests with pride at the Sri Dalada Maligawa. This is Honorable Pradeep Nilangadara, the 19th Diyavadra Nilame, who walks with utmost pride and majesty while bringing in a true sense of ancient royalty to this Perahera. The Diyavadanilam is the royal official who granted water to the kings in history and is now designated as the lay protector of the sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha, which makes him one of the most truly respected lay leaders in Buddhism in Sri Lanka. And he is followed by the Vidanis, or the chieftains of the 10 villages associated with the Sri Dalada Maligawa. We are now seeing the inception of the procession of the Sri Mahanatha Devalaya.
The Sri Mahanatha Devalaya in Kandy is located right in front of Sri Dalada Maligawa, where it is considered as the main shrine that is dedicated towards Lord Natha and one of the oldest buildings in Kandy that was built even before in Sri Dalada Maligawa.
The first item of the Sri Mahanatha Esala Perahera is the troop of Buddhist flags. An interesting flag which we saw in the beginning is the Matale Disakodiya, or the flag of Matale, to symbolize the birthplace of the current Basnayak Nilame of the Sri Mahanatha Devalaya in Kandy.
The origin of the Buddhist flag that we see today and which is used internationally dates back to the year 1885, where it was designed by the Colombo Committee of Ceylon, which was graced by prominent Buddhist personalities such as Venerable Hikaduwave Sumangala Thero, Venerable Migetuwate Gunananda Thero, and Don Kalis Hevavitarana, and this was the first publicly hoisted on the Vesak public holiday under British rule.
This is the city of Kandy, lit up with lights and tranquility to welcome the Kandy Esala Perahera season of the year 2026. And these flag bearers are represented in the Sri Mahanatha Esala Perahera this evening by the Civil Defence Authority of Pallekele. Leading the procession of the Sri Mahanatha Devalaya is the official carrying the flag of Ravana, also known as the flag of Senkadagala. And this flag is on the mount of the elephant Rohana, belonging to Mr. Varuna Kannangara of Horana. Following Rohana is the official Hevisi troop of the Sri Mahanatha Devalaya. And this troop of Hevisi is represented by Mr. SYG Priyantha Premalal Vijayaratna.
Just like how the Hevisi troop of Sri Dalada Maligawa procession engaged in their own routine offering, the Hevisi troops of the 4 Esala Peraheras are the actual lineage who will still perform in daily, weekly, monthly and annual recites and rituals of the particular Devalaya, as Hevisi is not just a part of Sri Dalada Maligawa's ritual but is also similarly important to the offering of Devala Shrine as the main Shabda Puja or offering toward the respective god.
It is fascinating to know how all of these blend individually to contribute to the symphonic sound of the overall ensemble. When musically analyzing the instruments on its own, we see that the dowler is used to create a deep echoing sound, while the thumb atom on the other hand creates a noise that is heard to a far distance, and the horonava creates a high-pitched wind noise, and all of these put together creates the iconic symphony that covers the heritage of Sri Lanka. The second elephant of the Sri Mahanatha Devala Perahera this evening is Sudu Mahathya, belonging to Mr. Thilina Gamage of Maharagama. Following Sudu Mahathya is the troupe of Pantheru dancers represented by Mr. Ruwan Marasingha.
The pantheru is a musical instrument that is used as a rhythm tool across all three traditions of upcountry, low country and Sabaragamuwa, but the pantheru dance is exclusively belonging to the Udarata or upcountry tradition of dance. The pantheru dance is performed to the beat of Gataberea or Udarataberea, which is considered as the spinal instrument of up-country dancing, just like how the Yakberea or Devil Berea is the key instrument of low-country dancing, and how the Daula is the key instrument of the Sabaragamuwa style of dance.
The well-known fact behind God Natha is the belief that he is the next in line to attain Buddhahood as Maitri Bodhisattva. We are now seeing the arrival of two elephants of the Sri Mahanatha Devala Perahera, the elephant Kandula belonging to Venerable Devalegama Dhammasena Thero, the chief incumbent of the Tissa Maharama Rajamahavihara, walking alongside with the elephant Sumana belonging to Venerable Boralande Vajraknyana Thero, the chief incumbent of the Sambodhi Vihara in Colombo. And now we are seeing the Nayandi dancers who are tasked with a very special duty, that is to escort the royal troop of elephants who shall be carrying the requilleries of Lord Natha. And this troop of Nayandi dancers are represented by Mr. Indika Attaragala.
The Nayandi dance is said to be belonging to the classification of Rupanatum due to the visual richness in attraction, and this dance is also known as Adaves, meaning the half of the West costume, and at the time even known as Tanikachi, that relates the special head turban that is worn by Nayandi dancers.
The chief trustee of the Sri Mahanatha Devali in Kandy is walking ahead of the ceremonial elephant who shall be carrying the requilleries. This evening, the requilleries of Lord Natha are being carried by the elephant Arjuna belonging to Venerable Karatota Panyasiha Thero, the chief incumbent of the Veuru Kannala Budu Rajamahavihara of Dikwella. Arjuna is accompanied by the elephant Kandula Tissa belonging to the historic Sabaragamu Mahasaman Devalaya of Ratnapura, alongside with the elephant Sita belonging to Mrs. Nilanthi Veerasinghe of Meerigama. We are now seeing the commencement of the Sri Mahavishnu Devala Perahera.
The Sri Mahavishnu Devala in Kandy, that is also prominently identified as the Mahadevalaya or the Great Shrine, is the main shrine that the hill capital that is dedicated to Lord Vishnu among the Satara Mahadevalaya in Kandy.
We are now seeing the arrival of the provincial or the state flag bearers, represented by the Civil Defence Authority of Pallekele. In fact, it is believed that Lord Vishnu is the caretaker of Sri Lanka, and to represent his protection towards all of these flags, all of these states, all of these provinces are the reason why the provincial flags are being led ahead of the Sri Mahavishnu Devala Perahera.
Sri Mahavishnu Devalaya is located northeast to Sri Dalada Maligawa, which is accessed easily via Rajavidya and is considered as the most prominent religious site in Kandy.
It is the custom that the first elephant of the Sri Mahavishnu Devalaya will be carrying the flag of the Satara Kuralaya, also known as the Irahanda Kodaya. And this flag is led by the elephant Suranara belonging to the Alutnura Dadimunda Devalaya, which is affiliated under the same custodianship of the Sri Mahavishnu Devalaya in Kandy. Next we are seeing the official Helisi troop of the Sri Mahavishnu Devalaya, led by Mr. Salam Priyanta Arandegala.
of the history have pronounced these deities and the Devalaya by different names, where one such evidence noted by English prisoner Robert Knox had called the deity in the Devalaya as Alutnura Deviyo, who has brought to Alutnura in Kegol from Devinura in Matara, while another legend identified as God Upulwan Deviyo, which translates to the blue color god.
Sandesha anthology that was written in the 15th century describes Lord Vishnu as the destroyer of Asura, which hints at believed similarity between Lord Vishnu and Rama, the great Indian epic of Ramayana. And now we see the second elephant of the Sri Mahavishnu Esala Perahera, who is Banda, belonging to Mr. Sisira Samrakku of Narrations. This is the Savaran dance troupe, represented by Mr. Ruanthal Gaguda of the Nityathal Dance Academy.
Dance item which involves these tassels are used quite often in Perahera, but this is not the usual Chamari dance we witnessed previously. This dance, which is recognized as Savaran dance, is similar dance to Chamari, but with a difference in the prop that is used. The main tool used by these dancers consists of not one but two tassels attached on both its ends, which makes it a longer version of Chamar instrument. However, the Savarama too is meant to serve the same purpose as the Chamara, which is to fan and cool the impending icon of worship, which was traditionally the king and today the relic casket or the requirements of God.
It is believed that the Sri Mahavishnu Devali in Kandy was built by King Sennarat between the years 1604 to 1635, during the time in which the Upulwan Devali in Alutnura was destroyed by the Portuguese in the midst of the Kandian invasion. And now we are seeing two female elephants of the Sri Mahavishnu Esala Perahera. This is the elephant Muthu, belonging to Mr. Indika Mudunpur of Manikinna, accompanied by the elephant Kumari, belonging to Mr. Nimal Jaitilaka of Minawangada. This is the Nayandi dance troupe, represented by the veteran artist Kondadeniya Samansiri of the Saman Ranga Aesthetic Academy, who represent the Kondadeniya generation of traditional dancing. and these Nayandi dancers are tasked with escorting the way for the ceremonial tusker who shall be carrying the requilities of Lord Vishnu of this first Kumbal Perahera. Clad in the white traditional Bhagavati costume is the chief prelate of the Sri Mahavishnu Devalaya family, who shall be walking in front of the ceremonial tusker to symbolize his protection and guardianship to the requilities of Lord Vishnu that are carried in this Perahera. This evening, the requilities of Lord Vishnu will be carried by the tusker Rama, belonging to Venerable Kullupiti Mahinda Sangrakitadeva, the chief incumbent of the historic Kandy Esala Perahera. Rama is accompanied by the elephant Vasana, belonging to Mrs. Krishanti Alapatha of the Alapatha Dalada in Ratnapura, alongside with the elephant Chutimelki, belonging to the prominent lawyer Mr. Bharata Amrutanga of Maligawa. Marks the end of the Sri Mahavishnu Devala Perahera. We are now seeing the commencement of the Sri Katharagamma Devala
Perahera. Is one of the key places of worship that are dedicated to Lord Katharagamma in the city of Kandy, and the speciality of Sri Mahakatharagamma Devalaya being the only out of the Satara Mahadevalaya or four main shrine that is located outside the premises of Sri Dalada Maligawa. As it is located in Kottagudala Vidya, which was known as the ancient Kavikara Vidya, where the poets of the king had used to reside during the time of royalty.
Led by the national flag of Sri Lanka, we are now seeing the Buddhist flag bearers of the Sri Mahakatharagamma Devala procession, who are represented by the Civil Defence Authority of Kandy.
the white clad flag bearers remind the people of the way that the Dhamma impacted their lives from the day the sacred tooth relic was brought to the island, and also the calm atmosphere symbolically portrayed the way to the end of the cycle of life or samsara.
This is the live broadcast of the first Kumbal Perahera of the Kandy Esala Perahera of 2026, brought to you by the Media and Special Projects Bureau, the Sri Dalada Maligawa. It can be noticed a special line of flags depicting the peacock being carried, followed by the Buddhist flags. In fact, the peacock is considered as the vehicle of Lord Katharagama, and these flags symbolize the flags that are dedicated to the worship of Lord Katharagama. Following the flag bearers, we are now seeing the official Hevisi group of the Sri Katharagama Devala in Kandy, who are represented by Mr. P.V. James.
Engaged in their own routine offerings, the Hevisi group of 4 Devala Perahera are the actual lineages who still performing daily, weekly, monthly and annual rites and rituals of the particular Devalaya, as Hevisi is not just a part of Sri Dalada Maligawa rituals but is also similarly important to offering Devala shrines as the main Shabda Puja or offering towards the respective god.
It was previously mentioned about how Hevisi has its own situational variants apart from its regional differences, and such differences include Kemura, Yama, Puja, Hevisi Paha, Dura and Tikmatra Hevisi.
Are interestingly to notice and identify, since the drumming and playing of the instruments are done differently based on one occasional instant to another. Hevisi troupe of Sri Katharagama Devalaya too is unique notable when compared to the other troupe of Hevisi due to the difference in its tune and tempo.
first elephant of the Sri Maha Kataragama Esala Perahera is just reached our site with an official carrying the flag dedicated to the Sri Maha Kataragama Esala in Kandy. And this elephant is Denuka, belonging to Mr. Ajit Dalada of Hambantota. Following Denuka, we are now seeing the approach of the Chamara dance performance, represented by Mr. Hasitha Ramanayaka of the Hasitha Ramanayaka Aesthetic Academy.
The Chamara dancers swing these white tassels in various stanzas that not just create a soothing visual to the audience, but also reminding the audience of the ancient time in which the Chamara played a prominent role in cooling ourselves in the absence of the modern day equipments that we are using today. A certain degree of teamwork is essential for the best performance of this Chamara dance, since the dancers need to synchronize with each other to maintain the visual consistency of this dance act. We are also able to witness another similar tassel dance that is similar to the Chamara dance act known as Savaran dance, where the dancers lies in the tool itself, since the Savarana has not just one but two tassels attached either sides of the object, unlike the Chamara. The Sri Maha Kataragama Esala had been built during the region of King Narendra Singha, who ruled the country from the year 1707 to 1739, where it was considered as personal Devalashrama to the Kandian king for their devotional rituals in order to receive the blessing of Lord Kataragama.
Here we see the second elephant of the Sri Maha Kataragama Esala Perahera. This is Podiraju, belonging to Mr. Chamila Bandaranayaka of Ganwar. following Podiraju, we are now seeing a Pantheru dance performance. And this troupe of Pantheru is represented in the Sri Maha Kataragama Devara Perahera this evening by the Nimesh Aesthetic Academy.
Since the 18th century, the instrument was used for the development of semi-classical dance form, which is an art that was passed down from generation to generation. The dance is classified as Gananaturu as per the theory of Panchaturanga, since the Pantheru is an instrument belonging to the Gana classification, as it need to be dashed in order to be instrumented.
The costume of the Pantheru dance is one of the simplest attires that are designed in the upcountry tradition, which consists of the white cloth turban, the talisman around the neck, kadukam earrings, bangles, and the pyjama trousers. The simplicity of the costume was based on two reasons. One, for being associated with offering to the sacred tooth relic, and for being able to freely perform during the faster temples.
Moreover, the simplicity of the dance form brings the mind to the simplicity and meaning requiring the daily lives of the people as the troupe steps forward on the streets of the city.
This is the elephant Sudumeliki, belonging to the late Mr. Buddhika Miriada of Lanka. We have now arrived to the most anticipated moment of the Sri Maha Kataragama Devara Perahera, where the requinaries of Lord Kataragama will be escorted now with the official Nayandi dance troupe, represented by Mr. A.N. Maligawa of the Maligawa Aesthetic Academy.
The Nayandi dance is one of the most significant dance performances of the upcountry tradition that hold a very prominent position in the Kandy Esala Perahera, especially during the Kumbal Perahera festival. The word Nayandi is in fact the name of the costume that is worn by the Nayandi dancers, which is the same costume that is worn by the Kandy West dancer, with the exclusion of the devoted headdress that is replaced with the cloth turban with a knot on the head center that is taking the shape of the cobra.
Kumbal is a divine deity who is worshipped as Kanda Kumala, Kartikeya or Muruga in South Indian tradition, and as Kandasurimu, Kadira or Kataragama Deviyu in the Sri Lankan cult. He is considered as one of the most powerful deities who has an appearance of 6 heads and 12 hands, who sits on the peacock with his consorts Devani Amma and Valyamma.
It is believed that the Lord Kataragama is the young son of the Lord Shiva and goddess Parvati, and he is considered as an important deity in the Indian subcontinent since the ancient time. Just like the other gods, Lord Kataragama too has the weapon unique to himself known as Perahera, along with the other symbols such as the peacock and the color red.
Walking ahead of the ceremonial elephant is the Iyer or the chief priest of the Sri Kataragama Devalaya in Kandy, who is walking ahead of this ceremonial group of elephants. This evening, the requelaries of Lord Kataragama will be carried by the elephant Esala, belonging to Venerable Katulastota Sarada Thero, the chief incumbent of the Senanayaka Mudalindarama temple in Ambepus. Esala is accompanied by the elephant Aruna, belonging to Venerable Higgoda Chandima Thero, the chief incumbent of the Wattala Handala Rajamahaviharaya, alongside with the elephant Gamunu, belonging to Mr. Ratnasiri Arangala of Veyangoda. And that marks the end of the Sri Kataragama Esala Perahera as we come to the approach of the final part of the procession this evening, which is the Perahera of the Sri Pattini Devalaya.
The Sri Pattini Devalaya in Kandy is the only shrine of the Kandian Sagramaha Devalaya that is dedicated to the virtues goddess Pattini, who is also only female presentation among the guardian deities of the sacred tooth relic.
We now see the flag bearers, including both provincial and Buddhist flags, represented by the Civil Defence Authority of Pallekele.
Sri Pattini Devalaya is located in the premises of Sri Dalada Maligawa, which can be easily reached via Devavidya, and it is separated from Sri Mahanath Devalaya from ancient Mathurya, which used to be a resting ground for the royal elephants.
This is the official Hailsi troupe of the Sri Pattini Devalaya, who are represented by the 3 veteran artists, Mr. M.G. Palita Nishankar, Mr. M.G. Sirisena, and Mr. M.G. Premadasa.
It is believe that this Devalaya is at least 4 centuries old, as there are written evidences of the Perahera that had been held during the reign of King Kirtisara. According to the folklores, the statue of goddess Patni at this Devalaya was bought from the Maligawa Devalaya during the time of King Vimadharasuriya. Even today, the statue of Maligawa Devalaya and the Kandy look similar, and this evidence suggests the Sri Mahapatni Devalaya in Kandy goes back to the 16th century in history.
The shrine devoted to goddess Patni in Kandy is a simple, small rectangular building on the usual stone platform. It consists of 4 compartments, including the traditional Kandian roof adorns, golden entrance to the chamber, and the charming elegance that make this Devalaya a simple but beautiful shrine that is home to many devotees who flock to this Kandian shrine to worship goddess Patni. In addition to the shrine dedicated to goddess Patni, we can also witness a shrine made towards goddess Durga in the same premises. The current building that we see is believed to be built by King Narrations during his reign from 1707 to 1739.
The male-dominated presence of the artist that we have seen previously is no longer visible, as we see the entrance of female representation of the Perahera, which is indeed the speciality of Sri Mahapatni Esala Perahera.
We are seeing the first elephant of the Sri Mahapatni Esala Perahera, who is carrying an official with a Buddhist flag. This is the elephant Ratna, belonging to Venerable Bengamui Dhammadina Theru, the chief incumbent of the Palmadulla Rajamahavihara of Ratnapura. Following Ratna is the female Nayandi dance performance that is trained and led by Miss U.G. Lakshmi Kumari of the Ketumati Aesthetic Academy of Murtala.
Being the only goddess that is venerated in this religious pageant, this segment of the Perahera not just celebrates the virtue of the goddess Patni, but it also celebrates the greatness of women and their value to the existence of this world.
Goddess Patni is is also known as Kandy in Tamil folklore, where we find many buildings in Sri Lanka that are built by the Sri Lankan Hindus to pay respect to the faith of goddess Padmini as Kandy. Following this beautiful dance performance, we can see one of the most tall and majestic elephants of the Perahera this evening. This is the elephant Nandimitra, belonging to Venerable Kirinde Anandathero, the chief incumbent of the Gatabaru Rajamahamihara in Morocco. Following Nandimitra is the Kalageni dance performance, represented by Mr. Lahiru Rakshan of the Ravi Prabha Aesthetic Academy.
The cult of goddess Padmini narrates many amusing stories which are all part of the legend of this great goddess. One of the most interesting out of such legends is her birth story, which is popular as Sat Padmini, where it reveals the 7 different ways in which she had been born, which includes the stories of the goddess Padmini being born out of mango, deer crop, cobra tail, demet flower, shovel, fire, and lightning. The cult of Sat Padmini is also challenged with the different variants which illustrate 12 birth moments as the Dolo Padmini Upati.
The Kalageni Network, or the pot dance which we see in this item, is a traditional folk dance that is choreographed to picturize a scene of women using the pot, which is the key instrument of the daily livelihoods of Sri Lankan village ladies. The choreography in fact depicts how a lady shall use this pot in her daily life routines.
As stated before, goddess Padmini is much popular among Sri Lankans due to her power in curing diseases among women and small children. This is the same reason why many of the Sri Lankan low-country healing rituals, including Gamma, Deva Madhur and Pahan Madhur, have accepted its protagonist deity as goddess Padmini.
The popularity of these ceremonies can only be agreed by an eyewitness, where thousands of devotees spend an entire sleepless night on the ritual grounds to experience and worship this miraculous power of healing. Following the Kalageni ritual, we are seeing the third elephant of the Sri Lanka Kandy Esala Perahera. This is the elephant Muthu, belonging to the most venerable Mahanayaka Thero of the Askiriya chapter, Venerable Lanka Sri Thero, who is also the chief incumbent of the historic Mathiyangala Rajamahamihara of Madurai. Followed by Muthu, we are now seeing the sword dance represented by Mr. Nishanta Sangeet of the Navaratna or the Navaranga Aesthetic Academy. Kadunatumi or the sword dance is not at all meant to promote violence in this Perahera. That is meant to reflect love, peace and care that is preached by the doctrine of Lord Buddha. This dance actually is meant to be a tribute and to illustrate the bravery of our ancient Sri Lankan warriors who risked their lives to protect Sri Lanka as a nation.
The dance is in fact a dramatic choreography of the dance which is used. The prop of the kadura, the sword and the palihar which is the shield where the dancers present fictional battle that is displayed using the choreographed dance steps which are unique to the folk dance style of the upcountry tradition.
This is the Savaram dance troupe represented by Ms. Nelka Vijayanayaka of the Nelka Aesthetic Academy.
This folk dance, that style of upcountry tradition, is designed to symbolically fanning that is performed using different dance steps, different stanzas, and the visual beauty that is created by the tassels in motion are showing a zoten.
According to the Sila Perkadri epic, one of the earliest known shrines in Sri Lanka is dedicated to goddess Pattini, the Navagami Pattini Deva. Along with banks of the Kalani River in Colombo was built by King Gajabahu II in the 2nd century AD that enshrines the golden anklet of this goddess, which is currently the most famous shrine dedicated to goddess Pattini. Other prominent shrines dedicated to goddess Pattini include the Lanka Pattini Devalaya in Adula, the Bilbao Pattini Devalaya in Sirunagala, the Hanguranketa Pattini Devalaya, and the Ambokka Pattini Devalaya in Matale, plus the Sub Pattini Devalaya in Badulla, to name a few. Followed by the Savarang dance performance, we are seeing the elephant Manike belonging to Mrs. Shriyani Gunawardana of Mobitel. We have reached the very final segment and the very final episode of the first Kumbal Perahera that was brought to you this evening. The troupe of Nayandi dancers, who will be represented by the Mithun Bandara Aesthetic Academy of Watapudua, who is tasked with escorting the ceremonial elephant who will be carrying the godly ornaments of goddess Pattini.
In the Kandy Esala Perahera, where the ceremonial elephant shall be carrying the golden statue of goddess Pattini within the decorated Ranhilige.
We are now seeing the ceremonial elephant of the Sri Mahapattini Devalaya, who will be carrying the godly ornaments of goddess Pattini, who is preceded by the chief priest of the Sri Mahapattini Devalaya in Kandy. As usual, the ceremonial elephant carrying the godly ornaments of goddess Pattini is none other than the elephant Mangala, belonging to Mr. Udaragalappatti of Giriyulla. Mangala is accompanied by the elephant Sita, belonging to Mr. Niraj Roshan Samarakkodi of Maharagama, alongside with the elephant Rani, belonging to Mr. Chanaka Jayasekara of Pallibettu. And that marks the end of the first Kumbal Perahera of the Kandy Esala Perahera 2026.
We hope that our country will be blessed with fertility and rains.
May our country prosper. Dalada Samindu Pihitai.